Welcome to Prime Film Recap. Today, we're diving into the enchanting world of Lovely Runner, a heartwarming Korean drama series that has captured the hearts of viewers worldwide. Prepare to embark on a journey filled with romance, mystery, and unforgettable characters.
Episode 1. So, this series' lead character is Sun-jae. We see a manager calling the idols for their first radio interview. This is our female lead character, Im-sol, who is admitted to the hospital. Due to an accident, Im-sol's legs have been paralyzed. For a depressed Im-sol doesn't want to live. Meanwhile, the radio kept there was playing about Sun-jae's group. We see here that all the members were making calls to unknown people, and then that call connected to none other than Im-sol's mobile. She picked up the call, and Im-sol got angry because she could not walk and was asked to give her shoes. She got angry, and Im-sol threw her mobile down. Sun-jae said that thanks for being alive. Then Im-sol became quiet. Further, he says your loved ones are grateful you were with them, so you should enjoy your life with your family. Now Im-sol has got hope to live. After a few years, Im-sol has now become a massive fan of Sun-jae. Im-sol has applied for a job but has yet to receive a reply from there. Now Sun-jae is a very successful pop star and a famous actor. He was preparing for the concert, and now she is ready to go to the concert. Before the concert starts, Im-sol gets a call for an interview. She tells her friend that I will be back soon. Now we are shown Im-sol comes out with sadness. She gets rejected, but as soon as she reaches here, she finds all the doors are closed. She sits there and starts enjoying the concert. Now that the concert has ended for the crowd, Im-sol's mobile phone has broken, which means that she cannot call anyone. When she was going to the bus stop, the device of her chair got spoiled. Meanwhile, someone noticed Im-sol from a van. Then, a person came out, and she saw that this person was none other than superstar Sun-jae. Episode 2. He asked what you are doing here. Im-sol, who is still in shock and unable to say anything. He gives his hand warmer bag to Im-sol. Meanwhile, her friend Hae-ji also came up with her car. After she reached home, she was doing this. She came to know that Sun-jae had committed suicide news. When she left for the hospital, her watch fell, and she quickly picked it up. Then suddenly, something happened in the watch, and the time stopped. She came back in time to her school time. Sun-jae and Im-sol studied at the same school. Actually, Im-sol is not able to understand that she has time traveled. She became sad. While Sun is going home, he sees Im-sol. He said, "This is my watch. But how did it come to you?" and took the watch. Im-sol saying that, "Please don't go. I will not be able to live without you." Hearing this, Sun-jae quickly stops a taxi and leaves. Sun is in his room saying, "My watch is with me," which means this other watch her. Then, she was even more surprised at home that her mom looked so young. Seeing that the year was 2008, she understood that this was before my accident. The next day, Sun-jae waits for Im-sol to come because he wants to return her watch. As soon as she sees Sun-jae, she remembers the news about Sun-jae's death. She starts crying very badly. He comes to Im-sol with an umbrella and asks why they are crying. Then, Im-sol's eyes fill with tears because the same lines were spoken by Sun-jae to Im-sol in the present before dying. And then part 2 ends here. Episode 3. Now we see that in school here, Im-sol says I must stay here and protect Sun-jae. She needs to change this past. She makes an excuse to the teacher and then immediately goes to the boys' building, where she sees Sun-jae practicing. But then Im-sol smells a cigarette coming from outside. Here, Tae-sung was smoking. He was her first high school crush. She started lecturing him on smoking and snatched his lighter and cigarettes. But when Tae-sung saw that the teacher was coming, he ran away. The teacher caught her with the cigarette box and lighter in her hand. Well, now the teacher punishes Im-sol in front of the whole school. Sun-jae sees Im-sol take the cigarette box and lighter from her hand and says, "I did not expect you to do something like this." She regretted it a lot because he had distanced Sun-jae from himself. Now we see that Im-sol and Hae-ji are lunching. Hae-ji says, "Yesterday you confessed your love to Tae-sung." Then on hearing this, Im-sol was shocked. And then we see a flashback of how Imus came to meet Tae-sung and gave some gifts and love letters to Tae-sung. After reaching home, she found the same letter she had given Tae-sung. After reading the letter, she felt humiliated. And then part 3 ends here. Episode 4. In this episode, she sees that there will be a swimming competition very soon. She starts remembering once, in an interview, she said that after shoulder surgery, he participated in a school swimming competition due to which his shoulder was severely injured. She came to Sun and said that after this competition, you would never be able to swim. Then, the whole time, they stopped. Sun-jae could not hear anything. When she again spoke about the future, the entire time had stopped. Im-sol started getting scared, saying that all this was very scary. Well, now it is shown that Imsal has returned home. She decides that if I have to save Sun-jae from committing suicide in the future, then first, I have to stop him from going to this competition, so that he never goes into the singing line. Sun-jae was going back home when he met a granny. She first asks for money from Sun-jae, and then Imsal tells all those things to make Sun-jae believe that, being a fan, she knows there is a mole below your collarbone and a deep scar on your body. She also said to stay away from swimming for 3 days. On hearing this, Sun-jae got scared and started believing what the granny was saying was true. That's why I would not go in the water. Then, that note flew away because of the wind and came directly near Tae Sung's feet. Part 4 ends here. Episode 5. After that, when they are standing outside of the house, Sun-jae was also there, and she had seen her, so she immediately hid behind Tae Sung. Tae Sung says, "I think Granny, you have been exposed." He went inside in anger. Now, she notices that Sun-jae lives in front of her house, but she never knows about this. Well, when Imsal's legs got paralyzed, it was due to a road accident, so since then, Imsal has been facing problems while crossing the road. A car is about to hit her. Sun-jae comes running here and saves Imsal by pulling her towards himself. Imsal is very scared and fainted. Then we were shown some flashbacks, such as when he had shifted his house. The delivery boy had mistakenly kept the parcel from Imsal's house in front of his home. When he came to deliver that parcel, Imsal started running towards him, calling the delivery boy. Then Sun-jae kept looking at her, which meant that Sun-jae liked Imsal at first sight. She takes the parcel, as a thanks, and gives the white candies and the umbrella. Now, we see that Imsal came and hugged Sun-jae directly on the same day. He could not believe it. This means that Sun-jae had a crush on Imsal even before Imsal liked him. But she never learned about this. The story then moves to the present, where Sun-jae holds Imsal, and part 5 ends here. Episode 6. Now we are shown the competition day, where Sun-jae is ready for the competition, and Imsal also comes there. Sun-jae won the competition, and everyone was pleased. Then he remembers last night, how he had come to drop Imsal at her house, and when Imsal was taken inside the house after Sun-jae gave flying kisses to Imsal. Because this thing is no less than a dream for him of the girl he has a crush on. So, after the competition, both of them went out for an outing. He wanted to propose to her properly. Then he asks, "By the way, are you a bigger fan of me or Tae Sung? I used to be a fan of Tae Sung a long time ago, but not anymore." Afterward, she said, "I wanted to click pictures with you from there." They took these photos while Sun-jae tried to propose to her again, but he couldn't tell. In the evening, both reached in front of their houses, and Sun-jae said, "I don't consider you a fan, but I wanted to make you my girlfriend." But before he could say all this, Imsal said, "We could stay friends." Sun-jae became speechless after hearing this, and part 6 ends here. Episode 7. The next day, she met a person who said Sun-jae was injured, so the coach took him to the hospital. The doctor said, "You have to give up your dream of a swimming career. Otherwise, you will not even lift a spoon," which means he will never be able to become an international swimmer. He became depressed. Imsal started waiting for Sun-jae to come outside the boys' building, and then she met in Yug. Suddenly, a ball comes flying and directly hits Imsal, due to which blood starts coming from his nose. Imsal remembers, "This scene had happened to me before that day. Then I came to know that there was a fire in our house, due to which mom's hand was burnt." She gets up and starts running. Imsal meets Tae Sung on the road. She convinced Tae Sung, and both of them left from here together. Imsal and Tae Sung also came there, extinguishing the fire together. Then her mom also came. Imsal is happy to see that his mom's hand is absolutely fine. She has finally seen this past, and it has changed. Then, after thanking Tae Sung, part 7 ends here. Episode 8. Now we see that before the surgery, the doctor is telling that Sun-jae will never be able to swim again. After a week, Insol came to Mr. Kim's house and started giving him the chicken dish. In exchange, Mr. Kim gave Ojia syrup. She drank the entire syrup. Then, when she sees Sun-jae goes to the swimming hall. Here, he hears the sound of something falling. It was Imsal. Then Sun-jae started asking, "Are you drunk?" She says, "No." Imsal says that, "I drank Ojia syrup, which your father gave me." Then Sun-jae started remembering that his father had made it by mixing alcohol. Here, the scene was getting romantic. Then Sun-jae directly kisses Imsal. The next day, while listening to a song, the same recording starts playing, recorded by mistake last night. Sun-jae reached school the next day, and when he saw Imsal was listening to records where Sun-jae had said "I like you" to Imsal. But she couldn't hear this. Tae-sung stopped her, and Tae-sung directly asks, "Would like to be my girlfriend?" Meanwhile, the time stopped on her watch, and she and Imsal returned to the present. Now, the one from 2008 who is crazy about Tae-sung. She becomes happy. He is about to come to fight with Tae-sung, but Imsal accepts his proposal, and then part 8 ends here. Episode 9 to 10. Then Imsal was surprised. This hospital was the same one where Sun-jae was brought. She sees Mr. Kim crying badly after hearing about the death of his son. When she was home, the watch was shining, exactly at midnight. She got ready to time travel once again. On seeing the date, she finds out she has returned to the past after 10 days. The next day, when Sun-jae was in school, then Imsal came to him, but he completely ignored her. Then she again started making excuses that she was a ghost, and that's why she was searching for true love. But Sun-jae does not listen to any more nonsense and leaves from there. Imsal is reading all of Tae-sung's messages. Meanwhile, Tae-sung came. He said, "Oh, so Granny, you have come back. You are not behaving like yesterday." Then this part ends here. Episode 11. In this episode, at a quiet place, the bully girls catch her and start fighting. Suddenly, an uncle came here and said, "Are you for fighting?" Then Imsal began to remember that he was the CEO of Son's company. She immediately ran away from there and saw that the CEO had already given her his card. Now Imsal has come outside Sun-jae's house. Mr. Kim got a stomach ache. He immediately ran inside without closing the main door. Imsal takes the opportunity and goes into Son's room. She takes out the CEO's card from his uniform and tears it. Meanwhile, Son enters the room. He is shocked to see her, and he immediately runs out of his room and peeks at Imsal, wondering what she is doing in my room. After a while, a mosquito comes. Because of the noise, Imsal wakes up, and then part 11 ends. Episode 12. Sun-jae had made her sit for questioning. Sun-jae asks how you were sleeping so comfortably. Then she said, "By mistake. All those books fell on me, and because of this, I fainted." She starts apologizing for all those things when she leaves her body, and the Imsal of 19 years comes into her body here. When she says that you forgot everything, then Sun-jae gets irritated. He picked up the blanket and covered Imsal with it. Taking her downstairs, Dad thought he was going to throw his blanket out. Then Sun-jae started saying that I no longer want to be friends with you. After listening to this, she started crying. Then he shouted, told her to leave from here, and went to his house. Then, lying on the bed, she started crying badly. She started thinking that maybe he hated me. Well, now Tae-sung was sad after reading his mom's message. Meanwhile, Imsal came here. He says that maybe you forgot that you were the one who fixed today's date to meet here. Tae-sung says that you have a double personality, right? She says that yes, this is true. And then part 12 ends here with this scene. Episode 13. In this episode, they were talking. Suddenly, he got to know about the news that In-yoog and Sun-jae both had gone to give an audition for the idol. After that, he gets a call from In-yoog, who tells him everything, that Imsal had just come here searching for you, and she was looking distraught for you. He hurriedly left all the work and went from there to find Imsal. Then he saw her on the bus, but she was sleeping. Now, she stopped the bus and got down at some unknown stop. After that, there an uncle teased her. She is screaming, "Please, someone saves me." Then, finally, Sun-jae comes here in a taxi and starts running to Imsal. The uncle was not leaving Imsal, and she fell directly into the water. By the way, this is the same accident when Imsal's legs got paralyzed. She finally comes to know that the one who saved him was none other than Sun-jae. Her soul started saying, "Sun-jae, I had forgotten you because of the accident," and then part 13 ends here. Episode 14. In this episode, Sun-jae drops Imsal off at her house. The next day, Imsal gave something to Sun-jae, telling her that this is a time capsule. We will open it on the 1st of January 2023, and for now, we will bury it in the soil. Because Sun-jae had committed suicide on the 1st of January 2023, she wants to change the fate of Sun-jae. Now, we see that when the teacher scolds them for the tie, Everyone is punished for taking a lot of rounds. There, Tae Sung comes to Son and asks, "What is your problem?" "I agree you are her neighbor, but remember that she is my girlfriend." Then Sun-jae says, "I don't feel like talking to you." The truth is that now Tae Sung has started liking Imsol. Jae's father is watching the Olympics. Park has gone to the swimming competition in place of Sun-jae. He quickly switched off the TV so Sun-jae did not feel sad. On the other hand, we see that Imsol messages him that today, "Both of us will watch a movie." Imsol tried her best to avoid the swimming competition, but Park's swimming competition was on the screen at the theater. This means that Imsol tried so hard to make Sun-jae not see the competition, but finally, Sun-jae saw everything. And then part 14 ends here with this scene. In this episode, we have seen that Park wins the gold medal, then Sun-jae becomes very happy. Next day, where Imsol had come to the police station, actually when a drunk man was following her at night, their Imsol's mobile and purse were lost. Imsol asked, "Was there anything at that place?" The officer tells that there we have found a dead body in the water. Hearing this, she came to this place. She heard the sound of keychain, which reminded her that the same mysterious driver who was coming to Imsol that night, but couldn't come because of the drunk man. It means that her leg accident can happen again because the driver's story hasn't been solved properly yet. And then finally, we see that driver too, who is a complete psychotype, and at the same time, he also had Imsol's lost mobile in his hand, which he is looking at Imsol's photo. In the next scene we see that In-yoog is upset because the singer in his band is not the right one. Since he doesn't sing well, he started thinking, why I don't add Sun-jae to my band, and part 15 ends here. In the episode 16, we see that Tae Sung is waiting for In-yoog before doing his mini concert, and then as soon as In-yoog came here, he tells that our singer is not going to come today because his mom has stopped him. So, he immediately started calling someone, and Imsol had also come here with Haiji. Their group was called on the stage. Sun-jae also came to sing. She quickly started trying to stop Sun-jae, but she is unable to do it. Everyone enjoyed it. When everyone was leaving at the end, the same uncle came to Sun-jae and asked him, "Can we both go to the side and talk?" Then Sun-jae agrees. Next we see that as soon as Imsol comes to school, the bully girl stops her. Then we see Imsol was hitting Tae Sung. She tells that bully girl has told me the whole truth, that you were dating me only to get rid of that bully girl. So, now I am breaking up with you. Hearing this, Tae Sung got very hurt because he had started to really like Imsol. After that, Imsol going back, then Sun-jae came in front of Imsol and started saying that this is what you wanted, that I become selfish, that's why I want you to break up with Tae Sung for me. Meanwhile, that line got played in the recording when Sun-jae told Imsol, "I like you." Imsol got shocked that does this mean that superstar Sun-jae likes me, and then with this scene part 16 ends here. Overall, this series was a perfect twisted love story. In this series, Sun-jae was an introverted lover. At the present time, Sun-jae suicides and Imsol has crush on him, and hence to save him, fortunately she time traveled to her school time, but unfortunately she got in relationship with Tae Sung, and Tae Sung was her school crush. Thank you for joining us on this captivating journey through Lovely Runner here at Prime Film Recap. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into this enchanting Korean drama series, filled with romance, mystery, and unforgettable moments. If you enjoyed our recap, don't forget to subscribe to Prime Film Recap and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. We have plenty more recaps of your favorite movies and drama series coming up.